What is up, everyone? 7 through 7 here, and today I'm bringing all of y'all a new series to this channel. And in this series, we'll be going over how to play every civilization and every leader in Civilization VI. The series is primarily focused on how to use them in a multiplayer context. Today's guide is focused on the United States of America, led by Teddy Roosevelt. We will be going over how to make best use of Teddy Roosevelt and the United States of America's bonuses, as well as unique units, unique infrastructure, and just general gameplay guidelines. The first thing we're going to discuss is the types of victories that are best suited for America. This is important when starting off because you want to think about your long-term plan, how your opening is going to relate to that, and how are you going to make use of all of your Civ's bonuses to get to that victory type. America's strongest victory type is the culture victory. America receives many relevant buffs to a culture game, including more freedom in their government policies, their unique building, the film studio, buff national parks, and an ability to accrue culture from their unique unit, the Rough Rider. America's second best victory type is the domination victory. Plus 5 combat strength on your home continent is an extremely versatile buff, as this can allow America to expand militaristically in the early game with ease. America also has access to 2 unique units, giving them a leg up in 2 different eras. And America is the only Civ that has a unique air unit. Policy freedom that comes with playing America will always help, even when you're going for a domination victory. America's third best victory type is the diplomatic victory. While it's more of a stretch than a culture or domination victory, plus 1 diplomatic favor per turn is a nice touch when attempting a diplomatic victory. This opens the door for America, allowing them to attempt for a diplomatic victory when the opportunity arises. America's fourth best victory type, and this one is even more of a stretch than the previous 3, is religion. America receives no real relevant buffs to religion. It's just that to make use of America's other things, such as enhanced national parks, it's very common for America to build lots and lots of holy sites. So, with holy sites obviously comes the opportunity for religion, so if America really feels like putting in the effort, it's still on the table, but it would be much more difficult than the other victory types. America's final and least viable victory type is the science victory. Again, America receives no real relevance buffs to science itself. Although some freedom in government policies may help science, America has much clearer strengths elsewhere. The next thing we're going to discuss is America's Civ ability named Founding Fathers. In vanilla Civ 6, this Civ ability entailed that government legacy bonuses accumulated in half the usual number of turns. With the advent of Rise and Fall, this was then changed to all diplomatic policy slots in the current government are converted to wildcard policy slots. And finally, with the addition of Gathering Storm, this was finally changed to all diplomatic policy slots in the current government are converted to wildcard policy slots, as well as plus 1 diplomatic favor per turn for each wildcard slot in the current government. This rework was neither a buff nor a nerf, but rather a redefinition of how America could be played. America was given a lot more freedom, and it opened up the potential for a diplomatic victory to fit the needs of the expanded game. America is highly versatile in regards to government. They have more options than most other civs when it comes to policy selection, and they are rarely limited in what they can choose. The only real limit is the number of policy slots. They can tailor their policies very specifically to whatever type of victory they are going for. The bonus to diplomatic favor is a very useful niche. America can stockpile diplomatic favor to win important World Congress votes, as well as use the extra diplomatic favor as a resource to be traded away to other civs when America needs gold, resources, etc. This as well gives them leeway to the diplomatic victory as mentioned before. America's leader in Civilization VI is Teddy Roosevelt. Teddy Roosevelt's leader bonus is titled Roosevelt Corollary. This entails units receiving a plus 5 combat strength bonus on their home continent, as well as plus 1 appeal to all tiles in a city with a national park. Finally, Teddy Roosevelt gives America access to the Rough Rider unique unit with the rifling technology. The +5 combat strength buff is a highly influential tool in the early game, allowing America to rapidly expand across their home continent. +5 combat strength is very significant because +30 combat strength is roughly enough to one-shot an enemy unit. This buff is also essential for defense. Invading America's cities on their home continent guarantees America will have a combat advantage, and defense is essential when going for a culture victory. +1 appeal to all tiles in a city with a national park allows America to really double down on tourism in the late game. National parks receive tourism equal to the value of the appeal of each tile in it added up. Therefore, America has inherently superior national parks. Also, increased appeal allows for building of the Seaside Resort, the other late game tourism giant. Seaside resorts generate tourism equal to double their appeal value, so America's leader bonus blends extremely well with the building of seaside resorts. Stronger national parks and an easy path to building strong seaside resorts makes America's late game tourism potential often untouchable. The Rough Rider will be discussed later on in the video when we go over America's unique units. Next to be discussed is America's unique building, the Film Studio. The Film Studio is unlocked after researching radio, and it replaces the Broadcast Center. The Film Studio gives plus 100% tourism pressure from the city in which it was built towards other civilizations starting from the modern era. The film studio is arguably America's strongest asset. Doubling the tourism output in the city in which it was built is an incredible bonus. This allows America to launch themselves very far ahead in the late game, as the tourism bonus works on civs in the modern era or later. Now let's focus on America's unique units, the P-51 Mustang and the Rough Rider. America's first unique unit, the P-51 Mustang, is unlocked after researching advanced flight, and it replaces the fighter. The P-51 Mustang has 105 combat and range strength compared to the base 100, 6 movement compared to the base 4. It also has plus 5 attack against fighter aircraft and gains an additional 50% experience. The P-51 Mustang requires 1 aluminum to build and 1 aluminum per turn to maintain. The most notable asset of the P-51 Mustang is that it is the only unique air unit in Civilization VI, giving America an incredibly relevant buff to warfare. No other air force will start off as strong as the Americans. The P-51 Mustang is inherently strong and gains more XP, making it a serious threat in any war. Its enhanced movement allows the P-51 Mustang to zip around quickly, getting to battles with ease and controlling large amounts of space on any map. A high-level P-51 Mustang with the relevant promotions can seriously harass Brazil's feared unique unit, the Minas Gerais. A handful of high-level P-51 Mustangs can even take out the Minas Gerais with little resistance. During the Atomic Era, America's air game is nothing to be messed with. America's second unique unit, the Rough Rider, is unlocked after researching rifling. This unique unit comes from America's leader bonus, Roosevelt Corollary. The Rough Rider earns cultures from kills on its capital's home continent. It has plus 10 combat strength when fighting on hills. It only costs 2 gold per turn to maintain, and has no strategic resource cost or maintenance. The Rough Rider is a highly useful unique unit, especially when paired with Roosevelt Corollary's plus 5 combat strength bonus. The Rough Rider can have up to plus 15 combat strength essentially at will when fighting on America's home continent. Plus 30 combat strength is usually the benchmark for one-shotting an enemy unit. Its high movement as well lets it control lots of space on the map and get to hill tiles with ease. Generating culture from winning battles couples well with America's general focus on the culture game. More civics will always help when either going for a culture or military victory. The Rough Rider is excellent for defense or policing America's home continent. Their strength bonus allows the Rough Rider to stand up to England's Redcoat when defending, or France's Garde Imperiale when attacking. An important thing to keep in mind throughout any Civ game is government. America's government selection is very clear-cut. America should select the government that has the most diplomatic and wildcard slots in order to develop the most possible diplomatic favor. For the Tier 1 government, America should select Classical Republic or Oligarchy. Classical Republic is the clear choice for a more diplomatic culture game. The bonus Great Person points is always useful when attempting a culture victory. Oligarchy fits better with a domination game or if trying to fixate on early game expansion because of the plus 20% unit experience coupled with the plus 4 combat strength to all land melee, anti-cavalry, and naval melee units. America's land melee, anti-cavalry, and naval melee units can get up to a plus 9 combat strength bonus when Oligarchy is picked and fighting on your home continent. For the Tier 2 government, America should go with Merchant Republic. Merchant Republic generates the most diplomatic favor for America, wielding 1 diplomatic slot and 2 wildcard slots. All other Tier 2 governments are 1 and 1 respectively. The 10% extra gold generated from cities with governors allows for easier patronizing of brave people or purchasing of units. Plus 15% production to districts does not complement America directly, but this is a highly useful and versatile addition to what America already receives. For the Tier 3 government, America should select Democracy. Democracy is the top diplomatic favor producer with 2 diplomatic slots and 2 wildcard slots, 1 more in total than fascism and 2 more in total than communism. Democracy is heavily suited for a culture victory when playing as America because of a variety of reasons. Plus 4 food and production to both cities when trading with an ally greatly strengthens trade routes at this stage of the game. Trade routes are essential for generating tourism, so paired with Democracy's bonuses, America's trade routes both generate tourism as well as grow their cities and up production. Larger cities also lead to higher culture output as well as science and faith, among other things. The additional 0.25 alliance points per turn towards growing alliances is the likely weakest part for America, but there is by no means anything wrong with higher level alliances. Democracy gives America access to the bonuses that come with high level alliances quicker. Lastly, a 15% discount on purchasing with gold continues the bonus from Merchant Republic, maintaining America's ability to patronize great people with ease. Fascism may be chosen over democracy when going for a domination victory, although America will lose out on some diplomatic favor output. However, the plus 5 combat strength, 15% reduced war weariness, and plus 50% production to units could very well be worth the lost diplomatic favor. For the Tier 4 government, America should select Digital Democracy. Digital Democracy highly outclasses the other Tier 4 governments when it comes to diplomatic favor output, as Digital Democracy boasts 3 diplomatic slots and 5 wildcard slots, 2 more in total than both of the other Tier 4 governments. Plus 2 culture per specialty district and plus 2 amenities in all cities is the most suited for a culture victory, as well as best for a diplomatic victory. Plus 2 culture per specialty district is huge for any civilization. This will allow America to quickly run through the civics tree, gaining access to whatever future era policies best suit their needs. Plus 2 amenities in all cities greatly aids in keeping them happy. The minus 3 combat strength penalty is not a huge deal for America, as when defending their home, they still receive a plus 2 combat strength bonus. Also, America's extra wildcard slots gives them access to easily implement policies that offset this penalty. America should have built alliances throughout the game, especially during the democracy phase, which in turn lessens the impact of the combat strength penalty. The extra culture output is very useful for a diplomatic victory, as it gives quicker access to policies which aid in diplomatic favor production. Like the Tier 3 government, America may consider choosing corporate libertarianism when going for a domination victory. The additional military policy slots, plus 10% production, and plus 1 additional accumulation of strategic resources may be worth more than the extra diplomatic favor. America is able to be highly versatile in its policy selection, so many different policies will work, and choosing policies is often a situational decision. The main policy to keep in mind is satellite broadcasts. America should be building the film studio, which in turn generates points for great musicians. The great works generated from these great musicians will have plus 200% tourism with satellite broadcasts, which becomes even stronger when paired with the plus 100% tourism from the film studio. When asked if America should found a religion, this answer is unclear. There is equal reason to found a religion and not to. Undoubtedly, America will be building holy sites to generate faith for purchasing nationalists and rock bands, so generating points for a great profit will inevitably come. America does not, however, have to accept said great profit. Religion can be useful in a culture victory because of religious tourism, but America does not always need it. It is difficult to give a clear answer to this, as this question will either need to be answered on a game-to-game basis or based on the player's playstyle. I personally like the added benefits from founding a religion when trying to accumulate tourism, but it's perfectly understandable to feel that the micromanagement will not pay off, especially when America has access to some of the strongest tourism generators in the game. If America is to found a religion, the founder belief reliquaries is the best option. Even though relics can be some effort to obtain, triple tourism from relics will make a huge difference. Throughout any game of Civ, wonder creation is an important thing to focus on. This section will go over the wonders best suited for America, as well as generally useful wonders tailored towards America's playstyle. In no particular order, the first wonder best suited for America is the Bolshoi Theater. This very strong culture wonder holds one slot for great music as well as generates plus 2 great musician points per turn. The Bolshoi Theater plays to America's strength in great musicians and great works of music, especially when paired with satellite broadcasts. The next wonder for America to focus on getting is Broadway. An even stronger great musician wonder, Broadway boasts 2 slots for great works of music and generates plus 3 great musician points per turn. Similar to the Bolshoi Theater, Broadway will work wonders for America when paired with satellite broadcasts. Plus 20% culture in the city Broadway was built, plus 1 free atomic era civic boost will aid America in speeding down the civics tree. Perhaps the wonder most suited for America, the Eiffel Tower is essential in giving America a late-game tourism boost. Plus to appeal to all tiles is a ridiculous bonus for America, guaranteeing that their national parks and seaside resorts will be enormous tourism generators. Following, the Forbidden City is inherently one of the strongest wonders in the game because so much freedom comes with an additional wildcard policy slot. Not only does America gain said freedom, but they also get extra diplomatic favor development from constructing this wonder. Similar to the Forbidden City, Potala Palace greatly plays to America's strengths. Since the Potala Palace gives plus 1 diplomatic policy slot, America will wind up getting a free wildcard policy slot, which in turn will greatly aid in diplomatic favor development, as well as come with all the bonuses of an extra wildcard slot. Finally, this brings us to the Sydney Opera House. Much like the aforementioned great musician-focused wonders, the Sydney Opera House plays to America's strengths in the same way. Plus 5 great musician points per turn and 3 slots of great works of music is an incredible thing to obtain when playing as America. Next, we will be going over situationally/generally useful wonders tailored to America's playstyle. Again, in no particular order, we will begin with Alhambra. When America wants to play more militaristically, the plus 1 military policy slot aids a tremendous amount in America's ability to be well-rounded. A somewhat more versatile wonder, Big Ben helps America a tremendous amount in gathering gold, which is highly useful for both culture and military games. Plus 1 economic policy slot opens up the door for so many relevant bonuses for America, whether it be in raw wealth or increased tourism output. An interesting wonder for America to consider is Cristo Redentor. Whether America founds a religion or not, the Cristo Redentor can be very useful. Doubling the tourism output from seaside resorts greatly plays into America's strengths. Cristo Redentor will also help a religious America keep their relics relevant tourism generators in the late game. However, a non-religious America may want to devote their efforts to other things than this wonder, as the buff seaside resorts may or may not be worth the production. Another wonder focused on generating gold, the Great Zimbabwe is relevant for both culture and domination victories. The increased trade route capacity as well helps America go for a culture victory, as trade routes can be a critical way to develop tourism. Hermitage is a generally useful wonder for anyone attempting a culture victory, as 4 slots for great works of art and +3 great artist points per turn will inevitably aid in tourism generation. One of the more complex wonders, Mont Saint Michel ensures that all America's apostles will be capable of creating a relic, which is absolutely essential when a religious America is going for a culture victory. However, this provides little for a non-religious America. In the same vein of thought as Mont Saint Michel, St. Basil's Cathedral gives +3 relic slots and +100% tourism from the city in which it was built, which is a great bonus to have when America is playing religiously, especially when paired with Cristo Redentor. +1 food, production, and culture to all tundra tiles in the city in which St. Basil's Cathedral was built is situationally relevant. Again, this gives a non-religious America almost nothing at all for what it costs. Lastly, Stonehenge is extremely useful when America wants to found a religion, as this wonder greatly increases America's odds of being the first, or at least before most other civs, to obtain said religion. If America has already founded a religion, getting a free apostle early on would never hurt. An important thing to note is that many of the other wonders provide broader bonuses that can be useful to any civ. Consider building any of the wonders if the situation calls for it. In this last section, I'll be going over my final thoughts on America as well as giving them a tier. The tier I would give America is A+. America is without a doubt one of the best contenders for a culture victory, with a high amount of flexibility within that victory type. The film studio plus the appeal bonuses from Roosevelt Corollary makes America's late game tourism potential unmatched. America also excels at catching up and shooting ahead because most of their bonuses come just at the right time. Their unique unit coupled with a combat strength bonus from Roosevelt Corollary makes so America can easily defend their cities, which is essential when going for a culture victory. Early game expansion to gain control of a continent is well within the Civ's possibilities. Lastly, the freedom that comes with extra wildcard policy slots makes America one of the most versatile civs in the game. This bonus is well suited for any type of victory. Domination and diplomatic victories are very real possibilities for America, as well due to how adaptive they are for the entirety of the game, plus relevant bonuses from Founding Fathers and Roosevelt Corollaries. Even though some skill is required to make any of this work, America's intense cultural strengths and general adjustability makes them one of the strongest civs in Civ VI. Thank you everyone for watching. Be sure to keep tuned because I will be making guides for all the other civs and leaders in Civilization VI. Have a great day.